Hey, fellow grumpy old gentlemen. Coming at you live from the beautiful downtown scenery of Whitesville, West Virginia. Um, Getting ready to leave work and head out and do our weekly grocery shopping at Walmart. Uh, Hard to believe there's a pandemic going on now. Such a beautiful day. It's about 75 degrees here in West Virginia. Uh, but that'll change when we get to Beckley, where our Walmart's at. We'll see people in masks and uh, don't see much social distancing in Walmart. Not at all. People just not paying attention. People's all the time on their cell phones, and uh, if I get on my cell phone at all in Walmart, I kind of get away from everybody and off all by myself. And yeah, I tend to stand back and stay away from people. But I don't wear the face mask or nothing like that. When we leave Walmart, I always sanitize my hands. But yeah, anyway, it is a beautiful day here, and hopefully the nice weather will continue. It's been a dreary past week, but a busy week at work. I guess everybody's got those damn Rona checks in and have plenty of down payments for cars, and get a lot of service work done this past week. People getting new tires, oil changes, brakes, and crap like that. But anyway, we're here for Sir Ian's chat topic, which is the $1 Billion Club, movies that have grossed over $1 billion. And I looked at that list because I knew, like, the Star Wars films, the later Star Wars films, the newest ones, had grossed $1 billion. Those damn Marvel movies, pretty much any superhero movies, that seemed to me what was prevalent on the list. But what the fuck's wrong with us? There's so many other good movies. It's such a crappy list of movies that have made over $1 billion. I was really surprised when I got to looking. Yeah, I know a lot of people. I know James and Ian are fans of the superhero genre movies, and I am too, to a point. Superman the movie from 1978, one of the greatest movies of all time. I was always fascinated by it growing up, all the special effects, how they got him to fly, and you know, just it looks cheesy now looking at it, because there's so much, been improvements over special effects over the last 40 years. But I, for one, am not a big fan of the superhero movies that come out every month, every couple months. Well, none's coming out now, but I've got them in my collection. I pretty much watch them once and forget about them. I think they're forgettable plots. And this is just my opinion. Don't want to piss you two off or nothing, because I know you like them or fans of them, and I ain't knocking you for liking them. More power to you. But $1 billion fucking dollars those Avengers movies have made. Those are the best of the lot, I think. Those do have somewhat of a story to them, even though I pretty much don't keep up with comic book storylines since probably 81 or 82, when I was 10 or 11 years old. I quit reading comic books. I still have a collection of comic books. I love the old DC comics from the 60s and 70s, mainly the 70s, and those are my favorites. But the DC universe, those movies, I haven't seen all of them. I still need to watch Aquaman, but I hated Wonder Woman. Justice League sucked. But yeah, I'm not a fan of those. The Marvel ones are the best as far as story-driven movies. They're not all blowing shit up every 5 minutes just to get your attention. even though they do that in those Marvel movies. A lot of, stomping and building, smashing, and shit like that. I hate that. I know one of the first discussions that me and James had when we became YouTube and Facebook friends was when when Man of Steel came out. That was, what, 2010, 2011. He said he was going to watch it, and he raved and raved about it. And, and I bought the Blu-ray of it, and I watched it. And all that fucking movie done for me was left me with a headache. I watched it that one time and have no desire to ever watch it again. And that is a lot to do with these other superhero movies. I watch them once, and I say, okay, and they're all, I guess, for maybe lack of a better term, they're all style and no substance at all for me. But anyway, I'm not a big fan of the superhero movies on the $1 billion club. Those Disney live action movies that come out, what the hell, The Lion King. I was surprised to see that made that much money, and Aladdin with Will Smith. I thought that movie flopped when it came out. That's how much I pay attention to box office grosses anymore. I used to be big on that when I was a kid, keeping up with that stuff, but I don't really follow box office much anymore. But I was surprised that those Disney live-action films made as much money as they did. Although I was seeing previews of that Mulan movie that was supposed to be released maybe now or this summer. Now that one looked pretty good. I sat down and actually watched that movie. That looked pretty entertaining to me. But those Fast and Furious movies, I think Furious 7, the one where Paul Walker, where they killed him off in it, that was a $1 billion movie. Not a big fan of those. But the ones I do like, I'm glad a James Bond movie, and one of the best James Bond movies was Skyfall. It made $1 billion. And I'm surprised Spectre didn't make that list. I know it wasn't as successful as Skyfall, but I was hoping Spectre had made $1 billion like worldwide, but it didn't. Because I thought it was not quite as good, but it was still a good Bond movie, better than Quantum of Solace anyway. But Skyfall is probably one of my favorites. Titanic, say what you will, chick flick, good story. Always been fascinated by the history of the Titanic growing up, and it was great watching all those underwater scenes. And Leo and Kate were good together, and I love the ending. And if a tear doesn't come to your eye when they meet at the end, and everybody's clapping and cheering them on, you're dead inside. That scene always gets to me. Star Wars Force Awakens, glad it made $1 billion. Fuck the rest of them. Even The Rise of Skywalker, and The Last Jedi. The Rise of Skywalker is okay. The Last Jedi was probably the worst of the prequels, sequels. Don't get that movie. That seemed like a ending to the series more than the middle of the new series, and it had other problems too. Carrie Fisher floating in space, that was retarded. But yeah, Dark Knight Rises, Batman movie, that's an awesome movie. That was a good $1 billion movie. Phantom Menace, I guess that was the first Star Wars movie to make $1 billion, and I'm surprised if they would count in home video releases. I mean, Star Wars first came out on video disc and VHS and beta in 1982, and it was one of probably the top seller of the 80s. if they count in home video releases on these, I'm sure like Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, they have made $1 billion, and for damn sure with merchandising and all that if you count that. But I guess we're just talking about box office here. But Jurassic Park, that's a good one. James, he's all the time talked about that over the last 10 years I've known him. Has fond memories of it. It's one of the best CGI movies I've ever watched. I will give it that. That was made during the early days of good CGI. Yeah, Jurassic Park is a good one. Some weirdo just pulled up in front of me looking at vehicles. I'll be damned. Go on. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. Well, I'm about done anyway, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, like Infinity War made the list. The Captain America movie, Civil War. That's the one that had Robert Downey Jr. in it. Iron Man. That was more like Avengers 3 or 4 or whatever. I thought that was more like an Avengers movie than a Captain America movie. If I had to pick a favorite Captain America movie, The Winter Soldier, I liked it the best. Yeah. Well, yeah. The Dark Knight. Batman Returns didn't make $1 billion. That was a big hit, but it didn't make $1 billion. But The Dark Knight made $1 billion, and The Dark Knight Rises made $1 billion. And I like both of them quite a bit. I don't know. I don't know. Probably The Dark Knight with the Joker is probably my favorite of the two. But arguably, I do like both of them quite a bit. I know I've rambled back and forth like I always do, this and that, and what I like, what I don't like, but anyway, that's my video. Harry, I hope you're feeling better, and I know I felt like crap all week. I've just been tired. Last night was the first night I felt good all week. Been really tired, but as due from work, a lot of work this past couple of weeks. A lot of extra work, and yeah, I hope everyone's doing good. Y'all stay safe. Mike, get out and let the sun hit your face or something. You're looking a bit peaked. We're worried about you. Ian, go out and poke people with some sticks and film it. Next time you go out, that would be pretty good. I'd like to see that. Bob, I'm glad it's not snowing in Canada anymore. And Harry, yeah, you take care of my friend. And James, I just expect any moment for Ohio to have a sighting of a big guy tearing down buildings. And yeah, think it might be you. Anyway. Stay safe, everybody, and I'll try to film more later on tonight. And I haven't filmed any at all, really. This is the first video I filmed all week. But yeah, I'll get this uploaded, and everybody take care. Bye.